Hello everybody and welcome to another exciting installment of Wrestling Rampage. The two amigos!
The two amigos are doing this one. The third amigo is behind the camera. But with that being said, what we're doing here today is, it was brought to our attention from our good friend, Awesome 4K. He did some videos on his channel, and he bought 20 years too soon the Superstar Billy Graham story. And he was telling his subscribers that he watched our channel and that we voted it to be one of the worst DVDs ever produced. And then me and Tommy was sitting here thinking, you know what? We never did the top 10 best wrestling DVDs ever produced. So, here it is.
Yeah.
So we decided we're going to do it. So thank you, Awesome 4K, for remembering about that video. And
yeah.
us forgetting that we never did the best. You want to go ahead and get this started?
Yep.
Alright, coming in at number 10.
Number 10, Owen Heart of Gold. The Owen Hart DVD, Owen Heart of Gold, is the first, which was a great DVD.
It was a great DVD. Owen Heart of Gold, great documentary.
Yes, it was. It was a great documentary about Owen Hart.
You know, and then what legacy he left behind from his tragic accident in 1999. They got some stories of Owen, very prankster, so to speak, and they have a lot of his matches. We got some Stampede wrestling leading up to him coming to the WWE, and a very great DVD if you can ever find it. Which you should. It's out there. It's pretty.
Yes. And it's a great DVD.
It came out in 2015. So, Owen, Heart of Gold.
Number 10.
Number 10. We'll go ahead and get into number 9.
Number 9. The Rise and Fall of WCW. This was a really good documentary.
Yes.
It talked about all the rise and the fall of WCW from the Crockett days to WCW.
Oh, yeah.
So, this was a really great DVD. And me, I love documentaries.
Oh, yeah. Documentaries are one of the best ones. Actually, when it comes to these, all these are documentaries, by the way. You will not see a compilation of matches in this list.
So, to me, this is number 9 because it was a great documentary.
Yes.
Talks about everything that happened in WCW when they had shitty Jim Herd and when they had Bill Watts and then Eric Bischoff.
The rise of Hogan.
Yep.
Goldberg, the NWO, the importance of the cruiserweights in WCW, and when Vince Russo came there, and the merger with Time Warner and how
Time Warner got rid of WCW.
That's right. So, number 9. The Rise and Fall of WCW.
Highly recommend you buy this DVD.
Oh, yeah. By the way, any of
these 10 you need to buy.
Oh, yeah. When it comes to these DVDs, these are a must-see.
Yeah.
If you have not, you're living under a rock, or, you just need to go out. And I'm pretty sure you can find some of these pretty cheap these days. So, we're going to go ahead and get into number 8.
Number 8. Breaking the Code Behind the Walls of Chris Jericho.
Oh, great.
This is a great documentary. Way better than fucking Road is Jericho. Where Chris Jericho's in his limousine talking about comp matches.
Yep.
That
one you do not want to get.
Yeah, don't buy that. Only buy this one.
Yeah,
especially
if you're a Chris Jericho
fan.
If
you're a Chris Jericho fan, only buy this DVD. Don't buy The Road is Jericho. Don't buy that goddamn garbage DVD. Buy Breaking the Code, The Walls of Chris Jericho. It talks about him as a kid. It talks about how he got into wrestling and how he traveled all over the world and that his dream was to come to the WWE. So, this is a really recommend DVD you need to buy and pick it up.
Yes.
It's a great fucking doc.
Great doc, has some of Chris Jericho's best matches on here. led to his where he beat The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin on the same night to become the first ever undisputed champion. So yes, one of the best documentaries. Well, actually, all these are some of the best documentaries that you could find that WWE has ever produced. So we're going to go ahead and lead into number 7.
Number 7, Stone Cold Steve Austin, the bottom line on the most popular superstar of all time. This is a really good DVD. It's way better than that other Stone Cold DVD.
The Legacy of Stone Cold.
The Legacy of Stone Cold, where you thought it was going to be a fucking doc.
I did too. I thought it was a doc.
And they fucked you and they just give you a comp of matches. I hate those fucking comp of matches. They fucking suck.
And this is actually one of the rare DVDs that is a 4-disc set.
Yes, this is a 4-disc set. Great documentary on Stone Cold Steve Austin. Talks about his career. Talks about going in the WCCW, USWA, and he was trained by Chris Adams.
Yes.
And his fame in ECW, and finally making it to the WCW, and then he goes to the WWE. So everything you need to know about Stone Cold Steve Austin is right here in the documentary.
Oh yes, no doubt. And also with this is, some of the special features of stories. They got some of the matches, some of the great matches that he had in his career. And then, like, on Disc 4 is one of the best ones that they have on this, and I love watching it. It's some of the best, Stone Cold's best segments that he ever did. One of the things that make me laugh is they had him on... I believe it's on... Yeah, Stone Cold on Livewire. I love that.
Yeah.
Todd Pettengill. We're going to build you up, bring you in here, build you up. Yeah, they ain't building no Stone Cold, brother.
Yeah.
Everything they did, the home invasion with Brian Pillman, all the segments of him and Vince McMahon, a very highly recommended DVD to get. Which we're going to go into number 6.
Number 6, Brian Pillman, Loose Cannon.
Yes.
I was waiting for a Brian Pillman DVD, and they finally made it.
Back in 2006.
Yes.
Watching, on there. I've always been a Brian Pillman fan.
Yes, he was a great performer. Underrated.
Very underrated.
In my opinion. He was great in WCW. He was the first guy to do the high flying here in the States. And did it in WCW. And he was a great fucking talent. Missed. Great documentary on Brian Pillman's career and his claim to fame in football, being a Cincinnati Bengal and everything else. So everything about this, I highly recommend you get the Brian Pillman Loose Cannon DVD.
Oh yes. Talk about Calgary, talk about the Hart Foundation, the Hart Brothers, WCW, ECW, finally making it to the WWF. Great doc. And this is actually one of the first docs that they actually did of a wrestler that has already passed away.
Yes.
Some of these docs actually have, where the person is talking about their life and their career. And this is actually one of the rare ones where Pillman died in 1997. We got a lot of stories of was this a work? Was the Loose Cannon a work, or was it for real? The gun incident, Pillman's Triple X Files.
Yep.
And some of his best matches of his career. And one of my favorite DVDs of all time actually is the Brian Pillman Loose Cannon. We're going to go ahead and get into number 5, which is Macho Man, the Randy Savage Story. Got released in 2014. Great doc.
Oh yeah.
Has Lanny Poffo talk about his brother. This DVD came out after Macho Man passed away. Because
and I had the Macho Madness DVD.
yeah, the Macho Madness was a big letdown.
Yeah, it was just a compromise of his matches.
With fucking
Maria and Matt Striker doing the goddamn show.
You know, so I was pretty upset about that one because I thought that was going to be a documentary, but no. Has some of Macho Man's greatest matches on this set. Also has a few house show matches as well. So you get kind of beside the behind the scenes look of some of the matches that he had. House shows. Was he as good as they say he was? Yes, he was.
Yes. So, highly recommend you get the Macho Man, the Randy Savage story, great documentary.
Then we're going to go ahead and get into number 4, which is The American Dream, the Dusty Rhodes story. One of, Dusty Rhodes has been a big name in wrestling for a very, very long time. Charismatic. Not the most agile guy in the ring, but he knew damn good and well that he can get it done.
Yes, cut great promos.
Oh, fantastic promos.
And was really great in the ring. And his documentary is really fucking great. I love Dusty Rhodes. Miss Dusty Rhodes. Wish he was still here. And done a lot of great things behind the scenes in WWE with the NXT crew. A great fucking agent.
This leads to, giving birth and having Dustin, Gold Dust, and Cody. And just, talks about everything that he's done in the NWA, how he built up Jim Crockett Promotions. And just a really great documentary and all. Has a bunch of matches on here. And some of the best promo work that you'll ever find.
Yes.
So make sure if you wine and dine with kings and queens, and he slept in alleys and died in pork and beans, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes.
That's right.
And also, back in the day, you actually had the little press here, which was pretty cool, but over the years it has died, so it does not talk anymore. It used to say, funky like a monkey, a lot of the Dusty Rhodes little promos and sayings. But we're going to go ahead and get into number 3, which is Born to Controversy, the Roddy Piper story. Very, very good doc.
Yes.
I was always a Piper fan. Tragically passed away. But the good thing and the same thing about Dusty Rhodes was these documentaries actually came out before they passed away, so they were actually able to talk about it in their own words. Great documentary about how he had a troubled youth and finally, loved wrestling and, started in Portland.
Yes.
Getting signed to Mid-Atlantic and the NWA. And
how much he hated Mr. T, which I hated Mr. T too. Fuck his mohawk ass.
Eventually going to the WWE and having one of the best runs there.
Yes, and he was in a great movie, They Live, which is a great movie, by the way.
Has a lot of different stories on here and some matches. And the one thing that I do like about this
is the Piper's Pits.
Yes, Disc 3 is the Piper Pits, which was his little interview talk show segment that he had, and it was one of that led to some of the great ones today. So which led the way.
And Roddy Piper cut a great promo. He's a great talker. So I highly recommend you get Born to Controversy, the Roddy Piper story.
Oh yeah, any of these you need to have in your wrestling collection, especially if you collect wrestling DVDs. Now here we go. We got the last two. Coming in at number 2 is Triumphant Tragedy of World Class Championship Wrestling.
Yes, this was a really great documentary on World Class Championship Wrestling. I really enjoyed this documentary.
Oh yes.
And it's a highly recommend if you like old school wrestling.
Oh yeah.
And like documentaries.
Talks about Fritz, talks about the boys, all the Von Erichs.
All the wrestlers that were in WCCW, Bruiser Brody, the Freebirds.
Chris Adams,
Jimmy Garvin.
Gino Hernandez. You know, and you know, talks about the eventual death.
Of World Class. And they talk about David Von Erich's death, talk about Mike Von Erich's death. They talk about all the deaths.
Which you guys pretty much know about the tragedy.
And Kevin Von Erich is on this DVD, which is a really great DVD.
It has the Freebirds on here. You know, has a lot of
Bill Mercer's on here.
Bill Mercer, really great doc that gives you an inside look of how World Class Championship Wrestling was, and a very tragic end of. Pretty much
a great wrestling promotion.
Yes, USWA. Jerry Jarrett bought out World Class and made it the USWA.
Yes.
So eventually, that was the death of it. And one thing I love about this, it has some of the greatest matches. Has a lot of different stories on here.
Yes. Great stories. Great promos and everything. This is a great DVD.
Jimmy Valiant with going against David.
You mean Jimmy Garvin?
Yeah, Jimmy Garvin, that's what I said.
You said Jimmy Valiant.
Well, sorry, Jimmy Garvin. Jimmy Garvin going against David Von Erich, and his valet for a day is on here. A hilarious segment. And if you guys
it's a great segment. You need to check it out.
Also, they got the Freebirds. Bad Street USA right here on.
Bad Street USA on there.
But and the final and the last, coming in at number 1 of the top 10 best wrestling DVDs ever produced is The Rise and Fall of ECW.
Yes, The Rise and Fall of ECW, clearly number 1. And the highest selling DVD in WWE history. Right here. The Rise and Fall of ECW. Great fucking DVD. I love this DVD. It talks in depth about ECW and how they started in Eastern Championship Wrestling. Which was shitty, by the way. I watched 93. It was shitty.
Summer Sizzler.
You know, it was shitty. But then they gotten better. And then they had co-promotion with WWF. Of course, Paul was lying, so he wanted to work for the WWF even though he was.
He was.
But again, he's a liar. But I still love Paul Heyman, though.
What I do love about this DVD is not only do they talk about ECW,
they talk about the wrestlers.
They talk about the wrestlers.
Terry Funk, Tommy Dreamer, The Sandman, Sabu, Rob Van Dam, Cactus Jack.
Some of these people that actually made ECW what it was. Coming out of
the Dudley Boys,
coming out the bingo hall, coming out of that shitty bingo hall in Philadelphia.
That shitty bingo hall on Reckner Street, the ECW arena,
and comes to the point where.
But then they had a TNN deal.
Oh God!
But ECW was the highest rated thing on TNN, to be honest with you. Who gave a fuck about Roller Jam?
Roller Jam!
Who gave a fuck about Roller Jam and fucking Spaceballs or whatever the fuck it was, where they fucking jump on trampolines and shoot basketballs?
Slam ball.
Slam ball, gutter ball, whatever the fuck it was. Balls. Who gave a fuck about that, you know? All the people only watched was ECW. They didn't give a fuck.
Too.
They didn't give a fuck about Monster Jam. They didn't give a fuck about goddamn fucking Space Jam or fucking whatever. Slam ball, space ball. We don't give a fuck what it was.
That's alright. I messed up with the Jimmy Valiant, Jimmy Garvin
thing. Who gives a fuck? You know, who cares what else they had on TNN? Who gives a fuck about Blind Date and all this shit they did on TNN? I remember they showed Blind Date like anyone cared.
But eventually they couldn't get out of their contract with TNN to go to a different network.
Goddamn, they were getting fucked. They weren't getting no money.
They weren't getting no money, and pretty much.
And then fucking On Demand wanted goddamn more pay-per-views, and they didn't even give them their money.
And ECW eventually crumbled under that, and
And Paul went to WWF and did announce it.
Well, he left and told nobody.
Oh yeah. I guess that's it.
I guess that's it. Great doc.
They just watched Paul on Raw. I was like, well, I guess this is over.
There he is walking with a fucking ponytail in his hat.
And he was wearing the ECW hat. And everyone's like, well, I guess ECW's done.
Has some of the best matches on here as well.
Oh, yeah.
Love Rey Mysterio and Psychosis going at it.
Rob Van Dam and Jerry Lynn.
Raven and Tommy Dreamer. So, and great Doc.
Yes.
Great matches.
You got to get all 10 of these, to be
Yes.
honest with you, because all 10 of these are good for your wrestling collection.
And the last one was number 1, The Rise and Fall of ECW.
Yes.
And if you guys disagree, let us know in the comments below what was your favorite wrestling DVD ever produced. And if you want to rebuttal us, you can do your own video.
Yes, do your own video.
We'll love to watch it. So send us a link. If you guys want to, through our Facebook, facebook.com/WrestlingRampage2, on our Twitter, @WrestleRampage. And don't forget, if you guys want to send us a package or a postcard or a letter, you guys can do that through our P.O. Box, Joseph Flatt, F-L-A-T-T, P.O. Box 6005 in Elizabethtown, Kentucky, 42702. And one last thing is, also don't forget to give us a big thumbs up if you guys enjoyed the video. And subscribe to one of the best damn wrestling YouTube channels going today, Wrestling Rampage. Tommy, take it away.
If you don't subscribe right here to Wrestling Rampage, then I guess you just don't know wrestling.